Hello, I'm Ben Maracle. Welcome to Where Hollywood is Taken Seriously. Today, I, along with my guest, Aaron Chauncey, a Stephen King connoisseur, will be reviewing the movie It, which is directed by Andy Muschietti and is based on Stephen King's 1986 novel. It takes place during the summer of 1989 and tells the story about 7 kids: Bill, Ben, Beverly, Richie, Mike, Stanley, and Eddie. These 7 kids are also known as the Losers Club. During the summer, a shapeshifter returns to Derry, Maine. This happens every 27 years. This shapeshifter feeds on the kids' fear and can become anything, hence the name It. So Aaron, being the huge Stephen King fan that you are, what did you think about the movie It since you read the book?
Well, you know, I read the book in anticipation of seeing the movie. I hadn't read it before, and the trailers looked amazing, so I was like, I gotta read this book. And to be honest with you, I was a little disappointed. It wasn't one of my favorite Stephen King books. I thought that he tried to put too much narrative into the book, and there was just too many plot lines that didn't really get fully resolved to my satisfaction. And I also found the book really disturbing. You know, there's just a lot of stuff that was just tough to read, kind of icky, you know.
Yeah. Thankfully, those parts were taken out of the movie.
Exactly. And I was kind of expecting that. So after reading the book, and it was so big, I was like, well, they're probably going to have an editing process, and they're going to trim it down. And I was looking forward to that. I thought that the narrative would be improved by being trimmed up a bit. But in that regard, I was a little disappointed. I felt that they trimmed away a little too much. Like, you don't really get to know the characters on film. You don't understand their motivations behind what they're doing, and you don't get to really care about who they are or what's going on. You know, so that was a little troubling. And the number one thing that really, you know, when they changed was from being set in the 50s in the book, they shifted it to the 80s. And that didn't make any sense to me. Like, if it had a purpose behind it, I'd be okay with it, but it didn't seem to really serve any purpose other than, you know, the 80s are kind of, you know, in vogue right now. So I think that's why they did it.
And I thought that was worse than what they took out.
Yeah.
Because there was no purpose, like you said,
Yeah.
of taking place in 1989.
And there was a lot of plot points too that were changed for no reason, you know, like different elements in the story that just, they weren't removed, they were just altered, and it just didn't seem to make any sense, you know.
Yeah.
But, you know, having said that, I think that the acting was incredible, especially the kids. I mean, they all did an amazing job, and, you know, the dialogue was well written. But the star, of course, is Bill Skarsgård.
Bill Skarsgård.
Yes.
Yeah.
As Pennywise, he was amazing.
Yeah, he
really
was.
Did a great job, and the graphics were great, the CGI and stuff. I'm not a big CGI guy, but I thought it was done sparingly and tastefully. I thought it was convincing.
Yeah, I call it abused. The special effects was abused, but it wasn't this time.
No, not at all.
I've seen many movies where it's really badly
Oh
abused.
yeah, and that's the worst. It kills it when you feel like you're in a video game instead of a movie.
Right.
You know, it's distracting and kind of like, you know, takes away from the experience.
Now, when they enter the haunted house, or whatever you want to call it.
On Nightbolt Street.
Yes,
right?
yeah. Before that, I sort of felt like, okay, let's move on. But once they entered that house, then I felt like, okay, now they've grabbed me again. Do you think after or during the house scene grabbed you?
Yeah, that was a very good scene. It was, you know, very scary. Even the lighting, you know, I noticed little things in movies, and like the lighting had like an eerie, like afternoon, like thunderstorm kind of quality to it, you know, and I appreciated that. And you know, the events going on in the house, they're definitely scary. You know?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
makes you jump.
You know, so for, you know, compared to a lot of the movies that come out, it was definitely a departure. It wasn't like a superhero movie or a rom-com or something like that. So it was refreshing to see something a little bit different.
And it was nice to see that there were some one-liners in there.
Yeah, there's some funny parts.
Yeah,
in
there
there.
were some funny
The kids
parts.
are they're good actors and they're convincing comedians. Very funny, entertaining.
Yeah. So, what would your final grade be after saying that?
Well, it's hard to say. You know, the one thing I have to say before I give my final grade is that one thing I didn't appreciate was I felt like they sexually charged a lot of the stuff in the wasn't it was kind of hinted at in the book, and they overdid it. Especially the girl Beverly, like, you know, like they have her like, you know, sunbathing and stuff, and it felt icky. I didn't really enjoy like that part of the movie, you know. And then and of course her relationship with her father too was an abusive one. That was disturbing too. Yeah.
I thought the thing with the father was he wasn't as abusive as I thought he would do. I mean, be.
Yeah. I mean, it was kind of hinted at in the book, but they really didn't. I don't know. I guess it's just a perspective thing. But that's the only thing. But putting all those things into the melting pot, I'd probably give the movie about a B minus.
B minus. Okay. Well, thank you for having. I'm very happy that you could come on.
All right. Thanks a lot. My pleasure.
So, thanks. I give it a B. Thanks for watching, and I hope you keep watching my future reviews and specials. You can like Where Hollywood is Taken Seriously on Facebook. You can also email me at wherehollywoodistakenseriously@gmail.com with your thoughts and opinions on it. And remember, this is where Hollywood is taken seriously.